Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think those are so just for legal verification and registration, and then maybe like one more would be make sure that they have the right licenses for like whatever goods you're producing. Maybe that's too much, but like if you're producing like medication or something.
Certifications, yes, it could be the certifications, right?
Yeah,
For
like
for
maybe
the
if you're
for
exporting like yeah, sorry, like medication or like live animals or something like that, then maybe they need special license like certifications or licenses or something.
I agree on that one. Yes. So another one. So also add to this the certification required for the product they are producing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay, then another one or any other?
Um, for legal verification and registration, yeah, I guess we could just make sure that they're not or that they're doing their taxes right. Like you said
Yeah.
that because they can be like uh when you check their business license, it can also show like details about their taxes and if they're like blacklisted or if they're like no like behind on their taxes or something. That's probably a big red flag.
Yes. Well, but actually, with a business license or with a tax ID number and or the business license number and the name of the company, you can go to this website in Baidu or search them in Baidu or through your accountant in the government, and you will get all that information there, like
Oh,
about the taxes and if they are like they have any or they are in any black government blacklist as a business, you know.
okay, it's included in that business search. Just okay.
Okay.
Okay, then it's fine.
Okay. And then okay, then no other, right?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, now the other one, I have experience and reputation. I have these 4 points also, like to search how long has the company been operating, request the references from other clients if there are any, or if you have any chance to do that, or sometimes even in Alibaba you can get some comments on the reputation of these clients also. But you can also maybe, I don't know, find it or talk to the supplier if they have any references from other clients, or if they feel very confident about their production and everything, they will probably tell you. And you can, we have this client also in Canada. We are selling this item that is very popular in Canada. You can check with them, and that could work as a reference, you know, or check on the comments on the platform they offer their goods, you know. The other one, it'll be request reference, well, no, review their reputation on platforms such as Alibaba, Made in China, and global sources, which I just said, and check if they have participated in international trade fairs like Canton Fair, for example, or any other international trade fair here in Shanghai. Any other?
Um, I think that's good. I think that's good. Maybe, no, I think that's good. But maybe if you can, you can also like ask an industry professional or someone who's really experienced if they've ever worked with this company or like how this. If it's a, maybe it's if it's a small manufacturer, then like probably they've never heard of it or something. But if you're buying from a big company, maybe you can ask an industry professional like, "Hey, have you ever heard of this company?" And if they say yes, you can say, "Okay, so how are their reputation? Are they known for anything good or bad?" That could be one.
Okay, like how can you do that?
Um, well, like XYZ company before, how was the experience? And then maybe no one will answer, maybe one person, maybe 10 people, but no matter what, it's free to and pretty like 10 minutes time investment, zero money. So it could be worth it to do that as well.
Okay, yes, definitely, it's got to be worth it. Any other thing that you might add to this experience and reputation
Checking experience
checklist?
reputation. No, I think that's pretty good. I think that's pretty good. That's everything. I think maybe there's some small things like I don't know, like if the company has a website or something, or you can just directly ask them like some of these questions, like just like you know how much how much business have you done in Canada
Mm,
or where what region do you work with the most? Maybe they'll say Europe, maybe they'll say North America or whatever. And you can also check their website. If they have a website, maybe their website will say a lot of this information like, oh, we sold 600,000 units last year. Or, yes, we're the
mm.
number one like producer in South China or something. I don't know. But that's basic, I think.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the thing is that, like, if they tell you, well, we are the main supplier for this item in USA or in South America or any other place, uh, you need to find a way to verify that information, right? How could anybody verify whatever they say? Like if they say, oh, yeah, we sell hundreds of containers a month to US, how can anybody verify that? I mean, there are some ways to get this data of the import volumes to a country, but it's not free. It's information that normally you can get it, but it's like last year or maybe a year before that.
Oh, I see. I see.
Cannot get it like that right now, like month by month. Right now you could probably buy last year's information, and for free maybe you can get the 2023 year information. But it's not for free. Like if you want to get the recent data.
Right. Maybe there's some way you could also, instead of paying for those platforms like the membership, you can pay for like a special accountant or some
That
business
is already
information
paying
person.
for that, right? We'll only charge you a little money to just do the research for the item that you are searching in the company, right?
Yeah, yeah. So you could decide if it's worth it or not. Maybe like it's good enough if you have last year's information. Like if you see like, oh, they sold like so much to Canada last year, and I just wanted to know if they sold a lot to Canada last year, then it's fine. You don't need to pay anymore. But maybe for some reason you need to like have like, oh, last month did they sell? And you can find out like, oh, would an accountant be able to find that out or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, yes, I
It
agree.
sounds like you wouldn't be able to find out like this month's or last month's, but maybe, yeah, I don't know. There's some way.
Yes, 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 I totally agree with you. And basically, any other or anything else you think we should add there?
No, I think that's good. I think that's good. I think that's like pretty much everything on for experience reputation. I think.
Okay, good. Then I have another one that is certifications and regulatory or compliance.
Okay.
Do you know this ISO 9001 or CE or FDA?
Okay. FDA. I know. FDA. I know. That's for like uh food or medicine. I think. Right.
Yeah, yeah. Food and Drug Administration.
Yeah. So anything you're like consuming. ISO. I don't know. Is that like buildings or like construction materials?
No, no, no. ISO is it's a certification of process, and management, I think, also, and a factory.
Oh, okay. I did not know that one. No.
And which the equivalent for FDA in Canada?
The equivalent for FDA in Canada. I actually don't know what it's called. I actually don't know what it's called. Maybe I probably would know if you said. I'd be like, oh yeah, that's it. But no, I
Okay,
don't
let
know.
me
But
check.
yeah, but I'm guessing anything that's FDA approved will be also approved in Canada. I don't know. Maybe not.
It's Health Canada.
Health Canada. Okay.
Health Canada is responsible for protecting human and animal health and safety. Canada Food and Drugs Act regulations. Do you know that one?
No, I don't know that one. I don't know that one. It might be a different system than the FDA. Like maybe we have our food and our drugs kind of separate, separate organizations.
It's
No,
also
I
Food
don't.
and Drug Act. It's the same as FDA. FDA.
Okay.
But in Canada, is act, not a
Agency.
agency. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Then and C, this is for electronics, right? One is for the process of production, uh, and C is for electronics, and FDA is for food and drugs, right?
Okay.
Now they check if they have the certifications, at least like ISO if it is a factory, and C, of course, if they are producing electronics or FDA or any other, according to the products that you are buying from them, right?
Yeah. Yes.
The other one that I came up with was to ensure that they comply with the quality and safety regulations for the product. For instance, I don't know if they are producing something like electric batteries, or as an example of the like the product you want to buy, that they comply with all the safety regulations to produce and handle this kind of technology. right?
Yes.
And the last one that I came up with, because I didn't find too much to add, was the check if the products have laboratory testing or international certifications, like is the for the quality control, area, that to make sure that the products they produce are of quality. Anything else you want to add, or anything you want to comment about the first check?
Uh, Check if they have relevant certifications. No, I think that's, yeah, it's definitely. I mean, it's obvious, right? Like, it's definitely important. That they need to have the relevant ones, and then ensure that they comply with quality and safety regulations. Yeah, I guess it's like, of course, you need to check if they have the relevant certifications, and then maybe you can just do like a secondary check, like make sure just there's nothing like super obviously wrong. Maybe they have the right qualifications, but then there's like something else that's not directly about your product. Like, maybe they have the certifications for the product, but then there's some like big problems with like the factory itself or the employees or something else. So that could be a problem in
Mm.
like a different way. And then the international certifications, I think it's kind of related to the relevant certifications, but maybe if they have international certifications, then that's also like a plus. Like, you can advertise that, I guess, right? Like, it will be a good thing, and it'll make it easier to like enter into new markets more easily, I guess. I don't know, I have nothing to add though. I think
Mm,
that's good. I think that's everything.
which one do you think are the international certifications?
Okay, like maybe there's like okay, like for example, okay, one I can think of is like, for example, like PETA, PETA, like the animal rights
Oh,
group. Like, maybe a product is like PETA certified, so then it's like you can advertise that. Like, yes, it has the FDA approval and CE and everything like that, but also if it has like the PETA thing, so it's like they don't like abuse animals or do animal testing or anything like that, then you
mm,
can also use that. You can advertise that, and yeah, just extra
okay.
certifications like that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, like ISO like 9001 is international standard anyway. Like this is an
Oh,
international certification, It's an
okay.
international standard, and ISO is basically the same standard in China or in USA or anywhere for a company that has ISO, ISO.
Okay.
Okay, but yeah, like you said, it's also correct. Any other like certifications that are recognized internationally, it's an international certification, and like the one you mentioned about the dogs, right?
Uh, yeah, like any kind. PETA's like any animals. Like, it's just like for makeup
Oh,
companies, for
only
example.
pets. Any pets.
Any animals, like just that they don't like. For example, like PETA will give it to like certain makeup companies. Like, if they don't, because some makeup companies will like test their makeup on animals or on monkeys and stuff like that.
Oh, okay,
So
okay.
then, yeah, they'll give it to certain. There's other ones, like there's some for like vegan food. I know there's like some for vegan food that like certifies that there's no like meat or animal products in.
Mm.
There's probably a bunch like that. Like, you know.
Like halal or halal was the name of that one? Halal. Yeah, I think
Oh yeah,
halal
halal food. Yeah, yeah, that's one. Yeah.
is for the food, right?
Yeah, I think it's just food. Maybe it's other stuff too, but yeah, it's like the animals like killed in a certain way, and it has like
Exactly.
certain living conditions or something. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else that would you like to add to this certification or regulatory compliance?
No, that's good. That's everything. That's good.
Okay, then we pass to the next one, which is production capacity and quality. And the first one on the checklist was like to ask about monthly, annual production capacity. Is is something that you should do actually when you are talking or negotiating with a company. Is the some of the things that you must ask. The monthly or annual production capacity.
That
What
makes sense.
what? Yeah. Well, why do you think?
I guess it's probably because in case like your business like becomes bigger, and or if you need to like you have more demand or something, maybe like right now you only want like 1,000 units, but you have to make sure that if there's more demand that the company can also produce 10,000 units, or if they can't, then you need to think about that when you do your business or some, I guess, right?
Yes, and also you need to take into account that the production of the factory will not be only for you. They also have or potentially have other clients, right? Or they are selling to somebody else. You are not the only one there since the factory is there and must be working. So if they have a production capacity of 10,000, for instance, monthly, but then you will buy 1,000, but you are thinking on buying 1,000 a month eventually, then maybe they will not have the capacity to supply you with 8,000 and still keep the other clients, the former clients they had, right?
Oh, I can see. Yeah, that's very important then. Yeah, that's very important. It'll be a headache later if you don't
Exactly.
confirm.
And
Okay.
the other one is to request an updated catalog and product samples. We already went through this to the samples to check the quality and the things you need to request. It's very important to request samples and catalogs. But there's updated catalogs, not an old catalog, but the things they are currently producing, and selling. What do you think?
Yeah.
Is this
Totally important. And I like the thing you said, the example you said, where like sometimes you can go to a fact when you visit a factory in real life, and if you have the opportunity, you can like randomly choose one product that they're manufacturing and just ask them, is it okay if I take this one? And that's a good way. I like that because then you can know that for sure this is a random product and this is like the average product that you'll be receiving, not just the sample they give you, which will probably be like the best version, right? I like
yes?
that.
Yes. And what about the catalog? The importance to request an updated catalog. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's super important too. Maybe like maybe there's a better version of what you're looking for, and you need to get the most updated one because you don't want like your competitor to have the newest version, and they're happy selling you. Of course, they'll be happy selling you the older version that no one's interested in, and you think, oh, this is a great version, but then really they just created a better version that your competition
Exactly.
will want to buy.
Exactly. Yeah, that's you're very good. I totally agree. Yes, that's very, very good. It's precisely for that, so you can, um, if they are producing a better version of the item that you're buying, well, you can say, okay, or change, oh, I was a little bit behind. I was not well informed, but since you have the new one or the new model already in production, I rather change to the new one. So you are not selling something that is gonna be obsolete very soon, right?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, so then the third one will be assess if they have internal quality controls. Why do you think this is important?
I think this kind of goes with the check, like with the certifications and everything. Like, um, you want to just check that they have like you want to go when you go to the factory. You can see like, do they have a floor manager? Do they have like good conditions for the workers? And are there any like possible like working like hazards or something like that? Because if there are, it could be a problem later on, I guess. I don't know.
Mm. What that has to do with the quality control?
Okay, that doesn't. Yeah, it's not the quality control. That's just the kind of. Yeah, you're right. That's just like the working environment. Quality controls, I guess. Yeah, you want to make sure they have the quality controls because you want to make sure that every product is like the same, like pretty much the same, and also will be of the quality that you're paying for. Like the best that they, if you choose one that's the best one, then they're all going to be pretty much the same. Like that best one that you got as a sample, for example.
Yeah, you're right. Exactly. And to ask about their return and warranty policies, we also went through this before in a previous video, right?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, these are the things that I think we should have on the check list of the things to do, when checking and verifying a supplier. The other one, payment terms and costs. Check one of the points on the checklist that you should do is compare prices with other suppliers to avoid overcharge or scams. You know this, right? I mean, you understand this. without problem.
Yeah. I think it's obvious. You should never just like ask one person for the price and then just buy it. Then, like, you know, that's not good, and you'll have no idea like what is the real market price by doing that. Maybe they'll overcharge you, or maybe they'll whatever. But yeah, you should definitely never just buy from the first person that you know.
Yeah, you
Maybe
quote
at
to.
least 5 people, 10, whatever.
Yes, exactly. To you get five or at least five different companies, then you filter them and choose the best one according quality and price, right? But of course, not the lowest price because it's one of the
The red flags.
things for you to check. Some people just want to buy the cheapest price, but then um, they end up being getting something that is very bad quality, and then they blame and say everything in China is very bad. The quality of the products from China are not good. It's not good. The quality is bad if it is Chinese. But no, they don't see it that we want to get something that we know to produce that is $1, but we want to get it just because it's from China and 10 cents. We should know that if we buy something that cheap, of course the raw materials cannot be the same, right?
Yeah, definitely. So you should probably choose somewhere like in the middle of the cheapest and the most expensive, and depending on what you're looking for. But it's definitely
Yeah,
important to like search industry, like do some online work, maybe ask a professional, and then just
yeah,
get quotes from at least 5, 10, depending on how many people there are. Maybe it's like very competitive. There's many factories, and maybe you could ask like 20 factories. I don't know, but yeah, at least probably five, I would say, right? Uh,
yes, I agree. Yeah, at least five. Okay, another one of the points to be checked is are to ensure they accept secure payment methods. Bank transfer, I think, is the best. LC is very secure. LC is like you use the bank like a third party. The bank, yeah, when you open an LC, is basically like when you are stating a contract, setting up the quality and the delivery times and everything on that place, and the money should be delivered at the time when the goods are delivered to the port, or I don't know, you stated that on the LC, and then the bank will make sure that money will be released on the time you guys had agreed. And of course, the bank will require the supplier to supply the documents, to prove that the goods are already sent to the port, or to prove that the quality of the goods or is the quality that was agreed between you guys and between the buyer and the supplier. And this will be proved with documents. If it is an LC, normally it's because it's a big business and there's a lot of money involved, and then they will probably have to use a third party like SDS to supply the document, for the quality matter. Like that. PayPal is, well, it's very secure also. But I think PayPal and LC cost little, so it cost some money to go through those. The way I see it is a little bit more expensive than just a bank transfer. But to do the bank transfer, then you need to do check, the things that we just reviewed in the last video. Like for instance, if you're buying from a supplier, then make sure that the suppliers and the company's name, um, it'll be the same as the bank information. I mean, like if you're buying from XYZ Company Ltd, also the bank account, the beneficiary in the bank account should be XYZ Company Ltd, just for to be sure that you're transferring the money to the right person, right? And you don't get into a problem with funds going somewhere else. Any comment about this one?
no, yeah, I think that makes sense. And maybe like if the company really is pushing for like, oh, we need the LC or we need PayPal or something, then you can just directly tell them like, okay, well, if you really need this, then you should know that they charge like 2% interest or something like that. So that should be reflected. That should be included in the price. Like maybe they should reduce the price 2%, or you can do the calculation and tell them, I will do the LC transfer to you, but you need to reduce the price by 1.7%, or whatever, or so that it's fair for me, and so that it's
Yeah.
still the same.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like you're saying, you can say, yeah, I'll do the LC, but you have to pay it. You have to cover the cost of it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay, great, perfect. Yeah, that is a good idea. Then the other the other point is to avoid suppliers that require full payments up front. It's something we also discussed in the previous video. Do you have any comment about this?
No, I think that makes sense. That's probably like very kind of I would say that's maybe even a red flag. Like that's probably a red flag, I would say. Unless unless this company is like super well established, a very big company, and you're like totally confident in them, uh, or you've been already working with them for a long time. Like if it's not one of those cases, then I would say that's probably like a maybe even like a major red flag if they request full payments up front.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Or some special
And then
situation, yeah.
yes, yeah, exactly. Well, and the last one here on payment terms and cost is to negotiate flexible payment terms. And I 90% of the payment terms that are requested or required in China is like 30%, 70%. 30% to place the order and 70% on BL copy and the shipping proof 70%. You can negotiate even more. You can negotiate like 30% on placing the order, 20% after it leaves the port in China when they show the BL copy, and 50% on arrival to the destination port, like in Canada or any other port in the world. But this is it can be negotiated, but 30/70 is the most popular and common. 90% of the companies will always request this 30% to place the order, 70% on BL copy. However, like some companies will ask you 50/50, but you can negotiate that and say like, no, 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 no. 30/70 is what I can do, and they will accept that. And if you keep on negotiating, you can get other payment terms such as the one I told you, 30, 20, 50. Any comment about this one?
No, I think that's fair. And yeah, it depends on the situation that you're in. Maybe you can negotiate, it makes sense for you, or your accounts are like really tight and they're really like depending it really like matters when the payment is. So but I would say yeah, 30/70. If that's the average, then yeah. But you should just decide what makes sense most for your situation and your business structure and how often
Yeah,
like money comes in and when and everything.
exactly. Because as a company or many companies are playing with the cash flow, right? They are playing with the movement of the liquidity and the money, because they have to do payments here, payment there, and they are not only living of one item or one product. Maybe they have three or four products and three or four different suppliers, and they are also selling. Containers are arriving, and they are selling one container. They are always gathering the money and getting paid from their own clients, and then they are preparing payments for their suppliers. So sometimes some companies do choose these kind of payment terms to be able to comply with the payments on time and everything. It's better to say like, okay, this is the way I can pay to you, rather that I can say, yeah, 30, I will give you 30, and I will give you 70% after you give me the BL copy. But then I will be taking it too long, to put the money together. And after you give me the BL copy, which is 5 days after the ship leaves the port, then it will take me almost to the time for the arrival for the container to the destination port, that I put all that money together to pay you. I think it's better, like some companies do that, and to play it safe. They say, okay, this is the way I can pay to you. I can guarantee you. I mean, you don't give me the documents to release the container from the port, but I need the time until the container arrives to the destination port so I can uh, give you the last payment. It can be negotiated, and some suppliers will understand that. Although some other suppliers, they're like not very huge companies and everything, they also do the same. They are producing, they are shipping cargo all the time, and they need the money also to buy raw material, to produce, to continue producing. It's like everything should be moving.
Like streamlined.
Yeah, exactly, and everything is planned and move like that, so they can also gather the money to do their due payments. Everybody's or the well, some companies are doing that. Unless it's a huge company with a lot of capital behind. But some companies will do that. Will need the 30% payment to actually cover the expenses for the production, or to begin with the production of.
Yeah.
Any
Okay.
comment about this?
No, I think that's good. Yeah, 37%. If that's the average, and then you can just decide, like, it will depend on your business a lot. But if you're really like stretching yourself out a lot, then maybe you can negotiate for more, like 20% now, um, 30% like when you get the bill, and then 50% later, or even less. Like, I don't know, maybe there's some way you can negotiate for like 10%, or whatever. But whatever the situation is, I guess it would depend a lot on your business, and you can maybe even directly tell them, like, I'm only able to buy from you if it's 15% or if it's 20% upfront. And then if they're really unable to, then you just can't do business with them. But maybe if it's truly like you can only put down 20%, then they'll say, okay, well, if we say no, then we won't get any sales. So I guess we'll have to accept 20% now. Uh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Yes. Okay, then I have another one, which is delivery times and logistics. This is a lot to do with things to check for the delivery times and logistics. This checklist is about the things that you must take into account, for uh, the whole process, right?
Yeah.
So first, the first point will be to confirm production and shipping times. What is this about production and shipping times? We already saw this in the previous videos.
Yeah, like, well, it will be probably outlined in your contract or whatever agreement you have together, but um, you're gonna need to find out, like, how quickly after you place an order can they have the goods ready for shipping, and then also you'll need to review um the different, like, methods of shipping. Like, if you want to, for example, send it, like, if it's even possible to, like, be sent on train, or if not, then you'll have to review, like, um by freight, like by sea, or by uh air freight, like by plane, and then review, like, okay, what does this product need? Is it okay if it's arrives in 1 month, or does it need to arrive in 3 days or 5 days or 1 week or something? uh so yeah, just take all that into account. Firstly, like, how long it will take for them to fulfill an order after you place it, and then also how long the different methods will take to arrive at their final destination, I think, for the first point.
Yes, the things in the contract. Well, this point is for you to check and to make sure that it's stated in the contract. To confirm production time, for instance, shipping time. It'll be the time that the your cargo will be leaving the port in our origin here in China, for instance. Uh, so that is, of course, if you see a contract without this information, you need to make sure that information is there.
Hmm.
Used to guarantee, that you will be that they will comply. They will actually give you the cargo in a month or in 45 days. Normally, it'll be 45 days, 30 to 45 days. Most of the companies will go for that. But yeah, if in the if in your PI or in your purchase contract that you are making, you don't have that information, you need to make sure that it's there. In the shipping times, it's not they are not talking about the time that will take from here to Canada. Well, it'll, yeah, it'll, because that time can change, according, like, for instance, if it's going by sea, even the weather might delay the shipment, or any other causes of force majeure, they call it. that has nothing to do with the supplier. You know, he said, well, we put it in the ship. We put it in the ship. It's on the way, and something made him delay 1 week. You know, or 2 weeks. So there is always that time cannot be controlled. You know, or also if it's going by air, for instance, or anything. You know, that when it arrives to the final destination or to the airport in the final destination, there is something that happened with cargo, you know, that was like over floated of cargo from all over the world, and customs couldn't manage to get the cargo or to clear the cargo like that quick. So they will always get like some extra days, you know, that will be um, like under tolerance. That will be okay to be delayed for a few days, you know, because it's not the supplier's fault, you know. It's like something that happened in the airport because they got too much cargo, you know, to clear, or things like that, you know. And
Okay.
then but they can give you a date, you know, that they will say, okay, it will take 30 days or 45 days to produce this item, and then 3 more days to get it to the port, and it'll be shipped this date, you know. And they can actually arrange everything with a shipping company and everything to set up the cargo to be leaving at that date, or to send a, because the shipping company or the forwarding company will send a truck to with a container, empty container, to be loaded in their factory and then take it to the port, for instance, right? And everything can be arranged. Or the parcel company, that the little truck that is picking up the boxes, you know, will if they make the appointment a certain day, they will go there and pick it up at that date and take it to the airport to be cheap, but it doesn't guarantee that in 5 days or 7 days it'll be in Canada or in USA. Maybe it's there, but it will not be cleared from customs, or so it will cause some delays that has nothing to do with the supplier, right?
All right, I understand. Okay, yeah, so it's about more about like just when they'll get us to the port or whatever, but the guarantees beyond that, it's like kind of a
Yes,
wide timeline. Okay.
exactly, because that belongs to the shipping company. The shipping company will say also, well, cost of force major, I cannot do nothing to control that. And that's it. But well, the point here is that the production time should be stated in the contract or in the PI, or in the purchase agreement.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. Yes. Okay. The other one, to ask about shipping options: FOB, CIF, X-Work. Do you remember what's FOB?
I think FOB is the one where they'll just handle the transportation like to the port, and then beyond that it's gonna be you doing everything. Is it that one?
Yes. FOB is to the port in origin.
So like in China, for example.
Exactly, the port in China. That's FOB. They will do take care of all the paperwork to do the custom dispatch to clear customs here in China and get it ready to be sent to Canada or USA, for instance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you remember CIF?
Okay, I'm not sure if it's CIF, if this is the one, but I remember one is like you have to handle everything basically. Like you're gonna have to handle like the trucks, uh, everything, the entire transportation. I'm not sure if that's CIF though. That might
No,
be
it's
X.
not.
Okay.
CIF is cost insurance freight. Is this that includes all the they will handle everything from the inland transportation from the factory to the port in origin, and they will load it and do the export documentation and everything, and then they will ship it, and they will cover also the expenses for the sea freight until the arrival to the port of the final destination, only to the port.
Okay.
That's CIF. And then X work, do you remember that one? That one? Or no? Because X work is more like the one you were saying before. But no, I think it was a little backwards. X works is when you buy to the factory, and you as a buyer will cover all the expenses, the inland freight to the port in origin, and then the sea freight and everything, and also clearing customs or in
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that one. That's the one, and you said that's kind of like you probably don't advise that, because that one's very complicated, and it's gonna be hard to know the prices of like these maybe it's like a small town in China. It's gonna be hard to like understand what is the average prices of like the trucks and everything like that.
yes,
So
and all.
yeah,
Yes. Also,
yeah,
also on this one and in this X works, that the factory will not do any work or any paperwork to export anything. You have to go. They will give you documents. The factory will give you documents and everything, and but you have to send the truck. You have to ship the or take the cargo from the factory to the port and the in origin, and then you have to with the documents the factory gave you. You have to do the export process. You know to clear customs here in China for the cargo to go away, to export the cargo from China to Canada, for instance. So you have
yeah,
to do everything. You have to do everything, including the export paperwork and everything.
yeah. So that one's probably not worth it unless, for example, like you work like your company's like big and you have someone who's like very experienced in doing that kind of export paperwork and understands how to like coordinate and
Exactly.
yeah.
And there is another one that actually I didn't put here, but I will put it right now. It's called DDP.
Okay.
You know this one? Have you heard of this one?
No, I don't know this one.
This is with dirty paid and everything. It will cover everything, all the inland freight, the sea freight, and the dirty paid in final destination. It means that they will do everything, including the import process in the destination port or the port of destination. That import process it will be done by the supplier too. So basically, the buyer does not have to do anything, just get the cargo, you know?
Okay, that's the easiest and most simple one. Okay.
Exactly. It's the easiest, but of course, the price, the price will include everything. I mean, not because they are giving you a price that includes the duty paid and everything. They will not charge you for that, import process and the taxes that have to be paid in destination, right? They will also charge. I mean, they will give you a higher price because it will include the freights, it will include the taxes, it will include the labor inclusive, even.
Yeah, so that's gonna be the most expensive, but the most simple and easiest one.
Exactly. And using that one, you can only calculate, okay, I just like you check the price in Canada and then you get a price at a DDP price, and then you see the margin, the profit margin that you have for certain product, and then you see if it is feasible or not to buy it or not, right? Or you can still negotiate with a supplier, to lower the price a little bit so you can be into the profit margin that you want, right?
Yes, I understand.
Any, yeah, any comment about this one?
No, I think that makes
No.
sense.
Okay. The next one is be to check if they can handle export logistics.
Uh yeah, I think it's like kind of similar to like the other points that we talked about, like the certifications and all that stuff, asking about like production and uh everything. Like maybe they can handle exports and they can handle the transportation of like a certain amount of goods, but um if you increase it a lot, are they still able to like are they still prepared? Do they still understand how? Because maybe if they're only like first you're only buying like 1,000 and it just requires like it's like a small good and it just requires like a van even to transport it. Like will they still be able to support you if you require one day like 15,000, you know? Because then it's going to be a much bigger like truck, you know, or even like those trucks that have like two containers on the back. So yeah, just make sure they can handle the export logistics, and also at different production levels and different destinations. Maybe like they can handle it in the U.S. and they do everything talking to like, yeah, we have a lot of experience shipping to the U.S. and then you tell them like, oh, it's not the exact, it's a little bit different to Canada, and they say, oh, we've never actually exported to Canada before. We always do it with the U.S., so that would be a problem. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not only that. Also, I had some experience here in China. Also, that some companies will say, "Yes, I can sell it to you. The goods or the product is a product of quality and it's good, but I do not export."
Okay.
You and maybe you'll find that here in China sometimes if you're like really getting in or finding some um, mm, really local suppliers, like that they are mainly focused in the domestic market, but not into the international market. They have good quality items, maybe sometimes, and but they do not export. They say, okay, I'll sell it to you, but it's gonna be export or exports, and you pick it up in my factory, and I do not do exports. Some companies do that, and there is always ways to do it. You can even hire an agent or a company like a third party company. Even the um, forwarding companies do that, and they can do all the paperwork for you.
Okay.
Here, any comments about this one?
No, that makes sense. That makes sense. It could even be in like other categories, but yeah, check if they can handle export logistics. Yeah, you'll just need to take that into account, and if they can't, then you're going to be limited about your shipping options. They won't be able to do FOB or DDP or anything.
Right. Exactly. But then you have the options to do it through just an agent, like forwarding company that will take care of everything.
Yeah, got it.
Okay. Then the last one on this one, delivery times and logistics will be ask if they can consolidate cargo with other orders. Do you understand consolidate?
Uh, Maybe it's like you can save some money. They'll put it with some other things that they're shipping at the same time, and it won't just be like just your goods shipping. It'll be like a little bit more efficient. They can put it with some other goods coming to Canada, or like some other companies that are sending goods to Canada. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that is totally right. Consolidate cargo is a cargo that is not a full container load. It's only maybe one pallet, you know, or two pallets or three pallets. I don't know, 4, 5, 10 CBMs, but in the container, the smallest one is 28 CBMs. But you will only use for your cargo 10 CBMs because you will not want to buy the whole container now. Then some companies will say, okay, if even if you don't buy the whole container from us, we can sell you that, you know, a small quantity or a smaller quantity and consolidate the cargo with. Mm, but basically, uh, this is not a thing that you deal directly with a factory, as long as they are willing to produce the amount that you want. These you deal this with the forwarding company or the shipping company that is selling you the freight, to consolidate cargo.
Okay, I understand. Right. You need to make sure that you do that, or else you're going to be paying a lot extra when you don't need to, if it's possible to consolidate.
Exactly, exactly. Because one container, let's say as an example, 120 feet container, which is 28 CVMs, will cost you $2,500. But you only need half of that container. You only will need 10 cubic meters, right? But you have then 18 cubic meters there of space empty. So rather of buying the whole container, you can find a way to consolidate these 10 CBMs into with a forwarding company, so they can put some other cargo there, or if you are buying some other products in China, you buy some 10 CBMs from one item and another 10 CBMs of something else, then you put it together in one container, and you can send one full container from China and save the money for the freight, and instead of wasting the space in the container, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Okay,
you
that
got
makes
it?
sense. Yeah, I got it. That makes sense. That totally makes sense. Definitely important to do that.
Okay, now seven, communication and support. That is basically the last one is in the checklist, is to evaluate how quickly and clearly they respond to your questions. Any comments about this one?
No, I just remember this is one of the red flags. Is like a lot about communication was one of the red flags. So like if they're professional, if they're like timely in their responses, um, that's gonna be like a red flag. So if they're not quick with their responses, or if they're not professional, that's a big red flag. Um, yeah, and it's if they're giving like very vague answers, like it's not really clear. Like you ask a very direct question and they give some like long or unclear answer, then like maybe you need to like confirm with them. Like I need a specific answer to this question, like yes or no, or what's the exact amount or exact you know figure
Right?
that you're looking for. Yeah, so mhm.
Yes,
good
yes.
good red
In
flag.
this case, I think to evaluate how quickly and clearly they respond to your questions is not only um, if you already passed through that red flag, you already decided to do business with this company, but maybe even though you already verified they are real, there is a good company, but then the evaluation you have for them to respond on time or to your questions uh, rapidly is not good, then you need to find a way to talk to them to make them or to request from them to reply and to be to push them, to be paying attention to your requirements or to your questions, right?
Yeah, I guess yeah, because even if they pass the red flags tests, but then they're real and everything, and they're certified and trustworthy, but then they still respond slowly. Then even if they're a great company, then one day maybe there's some problem, and it's like very important that they respond quickly.
Exactly. The things
Yeah.
are stuck in customs, and you need a seal only or something very simple they can give to you very quick, but they don't respond, and then they reply to you like a week or 10 days later, and you already had to be paying like the mortgages and uh, and extra fees for having the cargo there, for too long or 5 6 days, that will cost you money, so it's very important to have that. If you get into or run into this issue, just to get it solved as quick as possible.
Okay. Yeah. Definitely, it's important.
And the other one will be to check if they have English. Like normally, all the companies or most of the companies have English here. They speak English very good or acceptable. Uh, Spanish or French, maybe not, not that good. But English, I think everybody or many companies here in China use it, right?
Yeah, and if they don't, then that would be weird. But maybe you could just pay someone in your own country, or like just to be a translator, like just you could pay them a Chinese to English translator, and probably it's very cheap, just to like just you pay them and then they just respond to your messages and translate it for you. Could be fine too.
In Canada, is not is easy to find a translator, Chinese English or
I mean, I
Chinese French.
yeah, I think so. I mean, there's tons of Chinese people in Canada, but even if not, then you could just hire one in China. There's definitely a lot of like people in China that have good English, and um you could pay them just to be your translator, and not like a full-time employee or something, but you just pay them, like for example, maybe you pay them like 50 RMB or 20 RMB every translation or something like that. Uh,
Mm.
you know, or yeah, something like that.
Yes, you're right. I agree. I agree with you. Totally agree. You're right. And then the last one is ask if they offer after sales support. Like for instance, now that we are talking about your project, I'm buying this uh, well, which might call it units or chargeable units or
Yeah, the stations, the charging
the
stations.
station. Yeah, charging stations, right? Not unit. Yeah, the charging station units. Um, Ask if they offer this self support or after sales support and assistance in case of any problem with equipment you are buying, right? I think it is important to ask, even if they don't offer it. Then it's a well, after you buy it, then it's your responsibility. You can find a way to fix it. If you run into any problem after the warranty I gave you is all on you. But it's always important to ask, if they have or offer that in case is needed.
Yeah, that makes sense, especially with like electronic devices or something like if something goes wrong, uh it's better if they have like a specific like guide or instruction manual for repair people, or maybe it's very simple, but yeah, it's important for certain goods, especially like if it's something simple, maybe like you're just buying like directly, you're just buying like, I don't know, like plastic, like sheets of plastic, then maybe like the after sales support is not as an assistance is not as important. But like if it's more complicated good or electronic good that needs to be like maintained, or yeah, then you need to make sure that they have a system for that and they can explain it to you, or maybe they have their own staff in Canada or America somehow. Probably they won't for manufacturers, but I don't know if it's like a big company, maybe they have like trusted companies across the world that they're like, oh yes, just go ask this person and they'll be able to service your machines very well, something like that.
Yes, yes, yeah. Sometimes they do. They have like, or they have other clients, that have already run into the 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 problems that you might have as a first buyer or the first experience with this kind of equipment, right? And then they could probably give you some tips, or you can probably they could probably give you some directions, or the supplier could tell you, like you said, and there's a company or a person that we have in your area, in your country, that can help you fix that problem, right? With a specific item that you're buying from them, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Well, okay, very good. So, and this is the last one. And then uh, all I have now to finish this is a tip to consider having an audit or hiring an inspection service in China before closing a major deal. Like if a company is buying a huge order or something that will cost a large sum of money or a lot of money, well, in that case, you should hire a third party to do, like SES, to do this audit or inspection for you. Do you agree?
Yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree. Yeah, like doing the audit in person by yourself. You can also bring a company, or you can do the um I think it's SES, that one, like you said, where they'll give you like a guarantee on the quality, or they'll just do a lot of different guarantees. So it's good for yourself, and then also you can advertise that you've done these audits, you've done these inspections, and that your product is of a certain quality. So it's like good for many reasons, for yourself and also for making the sale of your goods, like make yourself more trustworthy and all these things. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, basically. And David, this is what I had prepared for today. Only a checklist of the things that you have to go through to verify it, uh, a supplier in China, and to do a checklist of the things you have to do. Okay, and it's basically what I had prepared, and I hope it's good. I hope you can use this information for your future business.
Yeah, thank you. It was very good. It was a good summary of everything we learned in this module. It was good.
All right, then I'll see you next Saturday.
Okay, I will see you then. Have a good rest of your week.
All right, you too. Bye bye.
Bye bye.